Good evening, gorgeous people. I'm Aaron Ryan, and welcome to the Big Brother finale preview interview. Tonight, I'm talking to all grand finalists, Taras, Reggie, and Johnson. This interview is with Taras. In this season, we saw Part A Taras, quiet, quirky, and under the radar, and then Part B, challenge beast, big moves player, perhaps even a liar. Exactly who is this guy? Let's find out now. Jiminy Crickets, Taras, thank you for joining me tonight for the
Thank you.
Beauty and the Geek finale. Sorry, the wrong interview. Big Brother finale.
I love that. I love that so much.
All right. Well, your edited portrayal on screen, at least initially, is this nerdy, quiet, quirky, hippie kind of guy. Some people think it's all an act and was almost a character you brought into the Big Brother house as a strategy to progress in the show. So, is it a case of what we saw is what you get in real life, or do I need to ask the real Taras to please stand up?
You know what? I wish I was that good at acting. This is me. And one of the funniest things was when I was doing the interview to like get on the show, it was, during COVID, I hadn't had a haircut in so long. I didn't shave. I normally don't have a mustache. And after they're like, okay, you're going to be on Big Brother. I was like, oh, cool. I'm going to go get a haircut. And they're like, no. You got to go in like this. I was like, but I look like even worse, like this really unkempt geek. And then after a while, I was like, you know what? They're like, no, we want you like that. I was like, you know what? That actually might serve me, like looking like a bit of a weirdo and like not like having a good haircut and stuff like that. But no, that is actually me. And like, I am like, I didn't realize how odd I was actually until I started watching this show. I'm not even joking. I was like, why the fuck do they want me here? Why do they want me? And then I've been watching the show. It's been beautiful to watch, and to like myself. I actually really like myself. I'm like, oh, cool. Like not in an arrogant way, although I'm sure a lot of people are going to think I mean that like that from the way I've been portrayed. But yeah, it's been really nice. It's been really healing, I think.
Well, it's fair to say not to stereotype people, and that's right. However, I've never really met anyone that could not at least partly be pigeonholed. So on the one hand, you kind of appear like you would be, well, as the intro sort of said, better suited to Beauty and the Geek. But then again, you have this super smart intellectual skills, both educationally and socially, and you have a strong mind, but then also a great body. You're quiet, but you're certainly not passive either. You have a strong caring side, but then also an ability to manipulate when needed. So how would you describe yourself?
Man, that's one of the biggest compliments I've ever gotten, I think. Like, how would I describe myself in the game or in real life?
Well, let's go with real life.
In real life, well, I think that I think I had a very strong mother. And like, I think because of that, it's always been instilled in me to be myself. And I think I always just had that naturally. And I didn't sort of realize until I saw myself that I was like myself, I guess. I was just like, oh, we all have our problems and our foibles. But I really like what you said because, yeah, it's actually sort of nice, like feeling like I am pigeonholed and I can't be pigeonholed, I guess. I don't really care about being an individual. I think the older I get, the more I just want to be normal. But it is nice that like I'm a bit of a geek, but I tell you, fuck. You sort of did it better than me. I'm sort of blabbering, but I think one of the biggest things is that we all go through a lot of hardships in our lives, every single person. And I think overcoming them is such a beautiful part of growing. And I'm always trying to be truthful to myself, like always trying to be honest with myself about what I like and what I am and what I'm doing. And I think the more honest I am with myself, the easier it is to be honest with other people and then to connect to other people quite deeply. And I don't mean honest as in like in the game, like I lied. I don't mean that sort of honest, but like a true human connection, I think comes from connecting with yourself. And like, I think that's maybe why I've been able to like be all these usually like opposites, because like in the end, they're not really opposites, I guess. Like, fuck, I have no idea what I'm talking about, but like,
Well,
you sort of, yeah, you go.
No, I was gonna say you came across, at least on screen, also with like these hidden talents and abilities, especially in the second
Mm.
half. Would you say you like being mysterious and surprising people, or that's just the way it came?
I wasn't, yeah, that's just the way it came. I think I spent my first half of the game really trying to get to know people, and I love getting to know people. Like, I love connecting with people and getting deep with them real quick. And I knew that if I could last a week or like a bit over a week, I would have made enough. I'm not good, I'm not the big energy person at the start that
Mm.
like grabs attention. I knew if I could last a week, I probably would have built enough strong connections to last quite a long time. Not in a like in. I knew the connections weren't manipulative, but I knew that as a game it would serve me. Um, and so yeah, I think that was probably the best part of my gameplay. And I had like, I mean, I really turned it on at the challenges at the end, but I didn't think that I would win 11 challenges. Like that's absurd. Like I love Survivor. So like I brought in a lot of my like Survivor love and lore and strategy, but knowing that in the end, it's not your freaking housemates that vote. It's
Mm.
Australia that votes. So I was like, I have, yeah, like you play this as well as you can, but in a way it doesn't matter. It's way as well, because like just depends how they edit you, really, and how they edit everyone else.
I think that might be your phone ringing, Channel 10 calling you to get you for Survivor next season.
Oh, I don't think Channel 7 will allow that.
Well, you're just about done with seven. But anyway, you flew past some of the big players: Dave, Drew,
Yeah,
Estelle,
yeah.
Alicia, Tully, Trevor, Joel. You're now in the
Yep.
top three. So were you underestimated?
I think I was underestimated. Yeah. I think I was underestimated by, yeah, by a lot of people. I think Tim didn't underestimate me. I think by week two, he was trying to get me out. But I had built such strong relationships with so many people that they were just like, no, 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 no. We're not getting him out now. We got to get this person out, this person out. And then I just kept flying under the radar. I knew that if I was put up, I was so lucky with the Drew one. I built enough relationships, but I knew after that, if I was put up again, I'd probably would leave
Yeah.
because one of my gameplays was not be. I didn't have to be anyone's number one because that puts a target on your back straight away when you're
Mm.
tight with someone or tight with more people, which is great to get you further in the game, but the end half of the game, it's not as easy because you don't have that number one and you don't have all those votes behind you, sort of thing. So, yeah, I mean, I was definitely underestimated. I mean, I underestimated myself, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned this Part A Taras and this Part B Taras in the second half of the season. Was that your strategy, or were you forced to change your plan when you were kind of outed as the guy flying under the radar, and then everyone was looking at you?
Yeah. No, look, it did change my strategy. Yeah, I was like, okay, I can't fly under the radar anymore. It's really, really out there, and everyone really does know. Um, but really, I th- no, I think yeah, I think I did change my strategy. And to be honest, I didn't do that much differently halfway through the game. Like I won challenges, but like it does look like that like I lied a lot more than I did because like with the Tully vote, she was not my target. It was actually Johnson who was my target, and that's why. But they haven't shown a lot of the like behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
Like it was really like I was like, oh, I need Johnson out, and so that's why when it looks like I'm saying like I kept being like I was trying to be very coy with Tully and being like, oh no, like do I have to answer that question? Because I was like, I actually don't want Tully out, but she wasn't very good at like scrambling for herself, and
Yeah.
and so it really like hurt her a bit as well, like lashing out at me because I was like, Tully, like I kept saying to her, Tully, I know this is hard to believe, but you're not my target. Like please like just keep it cool, keep it cool, keep it cool. But in
Mm.
the end I couldn't blow up my game by saying that it was Johnson, so I kept that, sorry, let me just, I kept that to myself, I guess. And I paid for it in the public perception, that's for sure.
Well, this question, you would have been asked in other interviews too, but it's the big one. For your own game, I completely understand every move you made, every person you
Yeah.
nominated, and every person you wanted evicted,
Yeah.
except for the very last one. It seems to be you played Big Brother using your mind, strategy, and challenge wins, all to the
Yeah.
benefit of your own game. By
Yeah.
that standard, surely you made a mistake evicting Brenton. Keeping Johnson or Reggie had to be a hard decision, and ultimately
Hmm.
could potentially cost you $250,000.
Oh, it's definitely going to cost me $250,000.
So why not?
100%.
Why not remove Johnson at least? Because and then keep Brenton, because a lot of people don't know who Brenton is because he kind of flew under
Yeah.
the radar. Why
Hmm.
why why not evict Johnson?
You know what? Like, I think at that time, it was like, it's just what my heart said to do. And I cried in that eviction room. I cried. I was like, why do I, like, obviously in the show, it looks like I'm a liar and I'm selfish and stuff like that. But everyone in that house is actually a good person, like a really good person. And I cried in the
Mm,
eviction room going like, why can't I do this for me? Why can't I finally do something that may serve me? Like, of course, it's so much smarter to bring Brenton along, who is an intruder and probably, like maybe has a less likely chance to win. At least it gives me like maybe a 1 and 2. He played an incredible game, but it's just
yeah.
so hard. But it wasn't. It didn't. It didn't come down to that in the room and in the after 62 days, I knew that, to be honest, like it felt to me that knowing Australia, if I brought Johnson and Brenton, Johnson would have won, and if I brought Reggie and Brenton, Reggie would have won. So I was already like, I'm probably not going to win this anyway, even though I played a great game, because I just know that it's not about Big Brother isn't about playing a good game. That's
Mm,
not what it is. It's not Survivor. If it was Survivor, I'd probably have a better chance of winning.
okay.
But I was like, you know what? It's just, why not bring the best to the end? And to be honest, with Reggie, like, I knew that she's a symbol of the Australian battler, and she's like a disabled woman with going blind. And I was like, sometimes you've got to like do things more for the world, for what that means, than for yourself. And it's been really hard. That's been the hardest thing about watching Big Brother, not seeing any of the newbies have that like the love and respect we showed to people like Reggie, who continued to vote us out, but we kept them on because of
Mm,
the kindness of our hearts. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's pretty obvious, like she
yeah.
hasn't been put up that much. So it's like been a bit like, like a lot of people did a lot of good things to keep to keep her there.
Yeah.
Um, and maybe that's dumb. Maybe it's dumb that we did that and I brought her to the end. But yeah, um, that's what I did, and that's what's been done.
There's been lots of talk about head and heart stuff, but in episode
Mm-hmm.
5, I just wanted to draw you to a comment that you made to another housemate in reference to being a
Mm-hmm.
newbie. You said we're just a pawn in a game of OGs. It certainly
Yeah,
did feel like that at the start of the season for
yeah.
sure. But look what happened in the end, though. When do you think the shift started happening and the OGs became pawns in the game of the newbies?
I still think that we're still pawns in the game of the OGs. Like, in the court of public perception, we are definitely just fodder for the OGs to have glory. Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
We're the heels, we're the wrestling bad guys for the OG good guys. But gameplay wise, internally, I think, to be honest, I think it was probably when Johnson, Alicia, and Brenton and JC saved me instead of Drew. I think sending Drew out at that point was the first step. And then because I won so many challenges from that point, I was like, well, I'm going to keep the people that honored me.
mm.
And who did I get rid of? I think, well, I'd gotten rid of Tully, we got rid of Drew, and then I got rid of Estelle and Tim
Tim.
pretty soon after that. So I think that was the turning point where the newbie alliance really solidified. We were all on the same team, and the OG alliance was crumbling because they couldn't win the challenges.
Mm. On one level, you came across as this like little cute, lovable guy that everyone loves, and then
Mm,
bang, you started upsetting a few people.
mm,
It's a game, but some people, particularly this season overall, have taken things
mm.
very personally, even to the point where
Yeah,
even Big Brother's finished, some people aren't still talking to each other, or
yeah,
there's
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So, I mean, I guess I could ask how things are going between yourself and Estelle now, but
Mm.
just generally, why do you think there was so much like emotion this season between everyone?
Real good question. I'll go through all points. I think for broadly, the OGs, other than Tim, had never experienced Big Brother like this. In some ways, it's not Big Brother anymore. It's not the old Big Brother where it's just everyone chilling. It's a really hectic, emotionally, physically, mentally draining game. And they came in not like that. They came in feeling like, ah, like why are people playing this game? Which is a bit silly in some ways because this is the third season. People know like what it is. Estelle even said she'd never watched the previous two seasons. And it's like, well, this is what you're in for.
Yeah.
And talking about Estelle, I mean, yeah, it's such a funny relationship because me and her were so close for the
Yeah.
first 30, 40 days. Like like we had our own alliances, but like emotionally, she was like the closest person in the house for me.
Oh,
Like she
wow.
was like my
Good.
best friend in there.
Good to
Like,
see that.
and yeah, it didn't really see that. Like, and that's why the end result was so explosive because this game came in between us. And I think for me, it was when I'd never lied to her ever. Like even when I was like, because I kept saying to her, I was like, Estelle, like, day 30, I was like, Estelle, I keep putting keep putting, saying to my newbie alliance, I'm not going to put you up. I'm not going to vote for you. I keep putting up Drew and putting points on Drew, who is in my alliance because he's going for you. Like, I don't want you out, but you have to give me something. You have to give me some, like, where do I stand with you? Because I know I'm not your number one. I know that Reggie and Dave are, and then Tim. I know I'm not even number three, but I don't even know if I'm like your number six or seven. And she'd be like, I don't do hierarchies. I don't do hierarchies. And I'm like,
Mm.
but we do. We have to in this game. Like, if I'm up there with two other people. So after a while, we started getting, I was like, hey, Estelle, I told her straight. I was like, I can't keep defending you and I can't keep not putting points on you if you're not going to give me something. Like, if I'm not
Yeah.
going to like be able to. And she was like, well, I'm not going to. And I was like, well, I'm going to have to put a nomination point on you today. Or like, I didn't put her up at this point. And then the Drew vote came up and I'm like, okay, look, Estelle, like, I'm guessing you're with me because Drew is your arch nemesis, right? She's like, I've got you, Taras. I've got you. I've got you. And then it turned out she didn't. She put a vote on me. And I was like, oh my God, she lied to me. And like, I was like, but goes against everything she's said about lying in the game. I was like, well, and she afterwards, she's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean to do that. Like, I made a mistake. And I didn't know if she was lying to me then either. I was like,
Yeah.
are you just lying to me now because you thought I was going to go and I didn't? Like, it's so weird that you put up you wanted Drew to go instead of me. He was like your nemesis. And I was like, and I did so, Drew became my nemesis because I was trying to protect Estelle. So from that point on, I was like, well, she's lied to me. Like, and it's a game where you're allowed to, like, I'm going to lie to her. I'm not going to tell her I'm coming for you. I'm going to keep her on side. And she got really hurt by that. But I sort of never understood why, because I was like, but like, how do I know that you didn't lie to me? Like,
Yeah.
I sort of don't get it. And we did come to terms with it after the show. We really chatted it out and I apologized for so much because I don't want to hurt anyone. Like, I was like, I'm sorry that I've hurt you. Like, I don't regret it in the sense that I don't think I don't I know why I did it all. None of it was malicious, but I don't want you to be hurt. But then since the show's aired and like there's just been a lot of tweets and all that sort of stuff, and I'm like, I never attack Estelle's character, but I dissect the stories a lot because sometimes I feel like there's context missing and stuff. And I don't know, like, I have no bad blood, but I'm not sure where she stands with me. I guess we'll find out at finale because I'll go up to her and say hello, of course.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's interesting. It's some people call it emotional game, and there's strategy in there.
Mm,
But even for someone like yourself, that was a very strategic person, ended up with a very final decision, going completely with a heart, without
yeah,
as much strategy. So it's
yeah.
interesting. Let's do a quick game. I've done this with the other housemates. Of choose a
Hmm.
housemate. Who's the most
Yep.
genuine in the house?
Most genuine. Oh, very, very interesting. Most genuine. Fuck, what does that mean? What does that mean, most genuine?
Well, I guess they are
There's a lot.
they are who they seem, and they just come across authentically, and there's no sort of hidden agenda, I guess.
I would say the most genuine would probably be Alicia.
Okay, there you go.
I think she is incredible as a person. And I think the way she played the game was really genuine as well, actually. Like I had a pretty close relationship with her, but she never lied to me ever. Even at the end when I didn't know if she was on my side, she didn't say, "Yeah, you're on my side." She's like, "I don't know." And I was like, "Wow. Yeah, yeah." I would say Alicia, and then if I could say anyone else, for me, it would be Trevor. Trevor was just I
Yeah.
loved that man. I knew I could trust him, and he knew how to play the game as well. So all of this has got to do with more like my perception. I'm trying, but like Trevor is so incredibly genuine. It's not funny.
And what about obviously the flip side of that is the most non-genuine. I guess they appear nice, but they could be lying to your face.
The most,
You polled on this a couple of times.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my God, I'd probably looked at as the most non-genuine. It's funny. I wonder if they would have said that like before the show aired though, because like I just know so many people that lied in that show. Like everyone did. Like
Yeah,
so much. The
absolutely.
most non-genuine. Um, I mean, I guess to me, I wonder, I guess, I guess Tim, like he was really good
Mm,
at he was really good at lying. But like he's such a genuine person, but gameplay wise, like you couldn't what's it called? You couldn't trust him at
yeah.
all. Um, so maybe him as the most ungenuine. I don't think Estelle is ungenuine at all. I think she is like she'd be the only other one I'd say. I just think sometimes she doesn't fully see her gameplay for like maybe what it is, I
Mm.
guess. But I think she 100% thinks that she's like played a very genuine game. And so how can you be ungenuine then? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And what about who you like to connect with on the outside, like, or who you made a connection with, and that's led to a friendship?
So many.
Oh, really?
Me and Tim are so close. I
All right.
love Tim, Alicia, Johnson, Brenton, JC, Lara, Gabby. Like, honestly, Joel. Oh my God, Joel. Dave. Fuck. I think I said Trevor. Trevor, love so much.
Well,
Yeah, it's been beautiful.
that was an easy question. So nearly everyone, I think you just about named there.
Yeah,
Well,
pretty much. Yeah.
and who would you well, actually, no, I won't ask that question. You're going to be in the finale in around 24 hours. I want to
Yep.
ask you a serious question now because it's something you have to face, and what Australia is asking. You and Johnson going
Mm,
head to head is one thing, and it's quite easy to see there would be
yeah.
some Taras fans out there and some Johnson fans. So putting all that aside and assuming you would like to win, here's the question: why should I vote for you to win Big Brother over Reggie, knowing that the rest of Australia know her backstory and stuff? I mean,
Mm.
how do you answer that?
I guess the way that I answer that is a few ways, really. I think I mean, it's really hard. It's really hard. Like that is why I brought Reggie to the end. Do you know what I mean? Like I brought it to the end, knowing that my chance of winning is not big because she is such a beautiful person with such a story, and it's a beautiful symbol. Like, I mean, gameplay wise, I played an incredible game, and like I did it bringing someone to the end that I was pretty sure was going to win. Or even Johnson, I was like, both of these people, like, I don't really have much of a chance against. But watching it back, I'm really proud of what I did. I guess the only thing I can say is that it's probably like a Luke Toki situation, really. Like, if Reggie doesn't win, she's probably going to make more money not winning than she is winning, really. Like, because people love Reggie. Like, I'd be donating to that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
with the winnings that I get. But that isn't why I brought her to the end. Like, I did bring her to the end because I was like, well, it's a beautiful thing. And also, I wanted a girl to win as well. Like, I did think like a girl should win at the end. I mean, this is not the most incredible way to say that I want to win. I mean, the thing is like, it's hard to like talk about, not that I have like struggles, but like, I do not come from a wealthy family at all. And like my mum does not have any money or a house or anything like that. So like, I'd love to win to be able to support her. And then I think like also Australia would get behind Reggie, but like, how do you say that sort of thing with Reggie who's blind? Do you know what I mean? With a sick kid, like, okay, like, you know,
I
the
think
money
I
would be life changing for me, but like, what do you do? Do you know what I mean?
I think Australia does know that, so I think it's okay when it comes to the finale that you fight for your players because you're not, even
Mm,
though you are speaking about yourself and it's sort of saying vote for me and not the other two, but rather than looking at it like that, it's just like, look, I'm just putting on the table why you should vote for me, and it's a beautiful thing. Everyone's got their story, and people vote for different reasons. So yeah, hopefully you keep fighting. Before we go though,
yeah.
with the time that we got left, what do you do career wise with your life, and how's your life set up at the moment?
Um, I'm I haven't been teaching for a bit, but I'm usually a music, like a piano and guitar teacher privately, which I've done for 15 years and I love it.
Yeah.
So fulfilling. I also produce music and write music for bands. Like, I love doing that, and I've done pretty good at that as well. Like, relatively good, I guess. And so that's sort of what I do with my life. I'm like my own my own little business, really. Just teaching and writing and making music and
Do you
all of
perform
that sort of
yourself?
stuff. So I I've been in bands and I perform myself. I'm like I was in Big Brother. I like being under the radar. I like being behind the scenes. Like, I like not being the center of attention, which has been weird to at the end win so many challenges and sort of be thrust upon me. But that's not where I like thrive, or not where I want to be, really. So yeah, I'm not interested in like uh, the fame, and hopefully I'm not recognized. I actually have hardly been recognized, which has been a godsend.
Surely, with the hair and
So
the glasses, you haven't been
I
recognised.
know I've actually been a bit like I was recognized twice like 2 days ago, and then I haven't been recognized for 2 months since it first started.
Oh wow, that's interesting. And just quickly, a fan question: where does your accent come from? I read somewhere online that someone says it's just posh Australian.
I read that too. I was like, I am not posh. My blood is Ukrainian, but my mum was born in Germany.
Oh,
Um, and so I guess that's where I think I got it from. I just remember when I was young, when I was doing my alphabet, I would go A, B, B, and like really pronounce it. And I think I
yeah.
just sort of developed it from really,
Yeah, you can
really
hear
taking it seriously.
some German in there. It's just it's kind of like a mixture, then Australian, a bit of German, a bit of
Yeah,
everything, but
yeah.
also. All
Yeah.
right, Taras, what a ride. Challenge winner, record holder, most unique housemate ever. I hope people feel inspired to just be themselves, live life to the fullest and be true to themselves because that's what you inspired. Good luck in the finale. I'll see you there and thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you so much, Aaron.
All right, that was Taras, a grand finalist of Big Brother 2022. That's it for tonight. Thank you for listening. I'm Aaron Ryan. Check out the other two podcasts with Reggie and Johnson on Acast. Enjoy the finale and good night.